Today we have with us 11 devotees from Hungary visiting. From Budapest and Debrecen, 2 cities. Debrecen's the second largest city in Hungary, the middle of Europe. It's a very mysterious place and a mysterious language that has no connection to anything. Yeah, sometimes we joke, like you guys are from another planet. But some of our devotees say, no, there's some Sanskrit ties to Hungarian language. So maybe it's true. Once when Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj visited Budapest, there was this very unforgettable, funny conversation of one of the devotees' mother, the mother of a devotee, young girl, was attending the programs at the temple. And Goswami Maharaj, he's half Hungarian, and the Hungarians, devotees really appreciate that. Oh, he's half, we'll take 50%. His mother is Hungarian, and his father's Irish. But the Hungarian devotee is so proud, he's half Hungarian. So he would often visit, even before his days in the Chaitanya Saraswat Math in ISKCON, he would preach in Eastern Europe. And anyhow, this one particular day in Budapest, there was a program on one of his visits, and one of the devotees brought their mother with them to come to the temple. And that mother was very nervous about her daughter being a devotee. And like, my daughter is worshiping a cowherd boy. You know, he's like, what is this? Cowherd. She couldn't get it like out of her mind that her daughter was worshiping a cowherd boy. And how bizarre is that? Like, what am I going to do with this daughter of mine? And like, so one day the daughter brought her mom. I think Anandavardhan Prabhu will know who that is. And I don't know if Yadu Nandini knows who that devotee was, but the mother asked Goswami Maharaj in a public meeting, like, my daughter's worshiping a cowherd. What is this cowherd society? Cowherd boy, the Supreme Lord is assuming the form of a cowherd boy. Like, I'm really worried my daughter is just into some weird religion. This is just inconceivable to me and mind-blowing, and I'm really worried about my daughter. And Goswami Maharaj, his answer was very perfect, very simple. He's because this mother was Christian, very Christian, not Catholic, but it's like an Orthodox Hungarian version of Christianity. What is it called? Calvinist. Yeah, in Hungary, it's like a version of Catholicism. His mother was very Catholic. And Goswami Maharaj is like shepherd. Jesus was a shepherd. Shepherd, sheep herder. You're okay with God being a sheep herder, but he can't be a cow herder? Like shepherd, cowherd. Like, what's the problem here? That was his answer, and the mother was like, oh. Just a classic Goswami badass response, and completely adjusting this woman. And from that moment on, she was fine. Okay. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj talks about the Supreme Person, he's not busy with creation and destruction and maintenance. He has his expansions and expansions of his expansions, doing all these things. Paramatma in every heart, Brahman, everywhere, without a second. The primeval Lord Krishna, he just plays. And he's doing what he likes in his own flavor, his own preferences. And he has his own personal family life, his own private domain, where all rights are reserved. And by the way, we are being welcomed into that plane by our masters. The Lord is revealing himself to us through divine agency, sending his agents to connect us to this divine reality, this play of the Lord, where he is assuming the form of a cowherd boy in cowherd society. He loves the cows. His name is Gopal. His name is Govinda, the lover, the pleaser of the cows, which also can be translated Govinda. Another translation of the name Govinda is the only one who can fulfill everybody's senses. We're all so seduced by our senses in this world, and we're looking in all the wrong places for fulfillment, and even to the point of self-destruction. We're destroying ourselves, trying to fulfill this innate need for fulfillment in ways where we're suffering for that. To every action there's equal and opposite reaction. This is the plane of where we're under the stringent laws of karma here. So to everything we do, Yudhamani Prabhu would say, the sweet ball and the shoe. You're trying to enjoy the sweet ball of the world, but you're just going to get whacked. You're going to get smashed by the world, by the reaction of trying to exploit and consume and control what comes from the environment. So only Govinda can fulfill everybody's need for fulfillment. That innate need for fulfillment only comes from the Supreme Person. We're all part and parcel. And Sridhar Maharaj explained, we are all parts of the infinite organic whole, and our duty and our innate need for fulfillment is only satisfied in this relationship with the infinite, part and parcel. We're disconnected by our own ego and our own exploitive ventures. We're pursuing exploitation. That's why we came here, and we're suffering so much. But the moment we turn our attention towards a loving service, God-centric way of life, in the best possible way, the Krishna conscious approach is allowing that mercy to descend and to fulfill us. So the Lord has his personal preference and his personal abode and his personal family life. And we are pursuing a loving, interactive relationship with the Lord. And that's only possible in Krishna consciousness. You can be in a neutral relationship, like the grass is feeling so much ecstasy when the Lord steps on, in a neutral shanta rasa. That's there for who's attracted. Our inner relationship with the infinite is revealed through sadhana, through mercy, through spiritual progress. we all have some particular type of relationship with the Lord, and that becomes revealed through our surrender and our service and descending grace. We can have a relationship with the Lord as a servant, like Hanuman. Shantarasa is personified and epitomized with Prahlad Maharaj. He's the example of Shantarasa. Hanuman, you all know Hanuman, he is the epitome of Dasya Rasa. He's the best servant of the Lord. He'll pick up mountains and bring them to the Lord to find the herb of medicine that the Lord wants, do so many things. No one can compete with Hanuman. He's the epitome of loving servitude to the Lord, Dasya Rasa. Sakhya Rasa, friendship. You can be a friend of the Lord. And friends, they play leapfrog with Krishna. They steal his lunchbox. They're playing games and joking, and they're loving the Lord as a friend in a very intimate relationship. You can't do that with Narayan. You cannot do that with other forms of the Lord. Then there's Vatsalya Rasa. Some devotees have that inner tendency of love in a paternal, what's the word in English? Parenthood type of, nurturing parenthood type relationship with the Lord. And that's not just Mother Jashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Devaki, Vasudeva. It's not limited to them only, the parents of Krishna, but there's so many senior cowherd boys, cowherd men in the society of Vrindavan, the cowherd society. So some devotees love him like a parent and can act as parents. But supremely, what is in our line, what our gurus are giving to us, specifically in the Chaitanya Saraswat Mad, in the line of Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, is Madhura Rasa. And that is consorthood, paramour love for the Lord, where the Lord is your lover and you are the beloved. Very, very high thing. We can't do that anywhere else, only with Krishna. So we're, cautioned not to take this cheaply, not to try to imagine it, and we're even careful to hear about it. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's some very high descriptions of the play of Madhura Rasa with Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the Braja Gopis. And we're told not to discuss it, just respectfully read through it. Just hear it, let it go in and out of our ears and into our heart, where we keep it with so much respect and honor. So that is what's being given by Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, by Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, in the line of the Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, this type of loving relationship with Krishna. Madhura Rasa, Parakiya, the consorthood of the Lord. And specifically, we are in the line of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, which is the service to Srimati Radharani, which is called Radha Dasyam. Who's in charge of that is Lalita Devi, the best friend of Radharani. She's the chief of this type of service, plain. And under Lalita Devi is Srila Rupa Manjari. The Manjaris are the younger gopis who have more access in the private pastimes. of the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. It's very, might seem very esoteric, very high thing, and we're careful to try to explain this, but it is our life's goal. It is our ultimate divine prospect, and we are aspiring for this. We may be so far from that, but Srila Sri Dharma says, we have nothing better to do with our precious time and energy is make some headway towards that divine prospect. Do something towards that divine prospect. Even if it's a very insignificant amount of progress we're making towards that goal, that is so much. And that can save us from the whole samsara, the repeated cycle of birth and death in this material world. So, the Supreme Person manifests in his pleasure pastimes, welcoming us to his divine abode and showing himself as the Lord of the cows, and in his even most magnanimous form we see coming in Gora Lila as Gauranga, as the Yuga avatar whose external function is to save everybody with the Maha Mantra, Nam Sankirtan, distributing this. Mahaprabhu came to, as the Yuga avatar, to distribute the remedy for rescuing everybody. But internally, in this special Kali Yuga, he's in the mood of Radharani. He's Rasaraj, Mahabhav, Dui Eka Rupa. It's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Rasaraj, king of rasa, king of everything flavorful and all fulfillment, and it's a very hard word to translate, rasa. He's the king of everything beautiful and charming and sweet and loving. And Mahabhav, who is the better half of Rasaraj, the supreme person in female, supreme female, that's Srimati Radharani, the divine couple. They're having their loving exchange. She's full of divine emotion and service attitude towards the Lord. He wants to taste her mood. And coming in this Kali Yuga for two reasons. For saving everyone and tasting Radharani's sweetness and divine love. So that's a very magnanimous, merciful manifestation of Krishna, coming to distribute himself to everybody. So, Bhujala Raghavata Gaurava Bhange, Matala Harijana Kirtana Range. This is above our Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Nat Mandir entrance. You'll see this display, this, what's it called? It's like relief that's made of a carving of the devotees of Mahaprabhu, and on their heads above them is Govardhan Lila, with Krishna holding Giriraj-Govardhan with his left pinky, and all the cowherd men and women helping with their sticks. They're thinking they're helping Krishna holding Govardhan mountain, and all the Brajabasis and the cows under the Govardhan hill, because our mat is situated in Gupta Govardhan. Jai. Jai. Where our Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is located, it's considered Gupta Govardhan. It's Aparad Bhanjan Pat. It's non-different from Vrindavan, and specifically Govardhan, where Chaitanya Saraswat Math is located. So that panorama, that diorama, is showing many things, showing with this verse that we will proceed in the line of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu in Gaura Leela, because that is what is most tailor made for us, where less chance of making offense and best way to make quick progress towards the ultimate goal is through Nam Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. We'll perform this Yuga Dharma and stick to the line of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And on our heads we keep all this Krishna Leela. We worship it with care and attention. We give our honor there. And by Mahaprabhu's grace, we get this Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. We get Govardhan. We get the service of Radha and Krishna. And so we are very much in that line, going first through Guru and Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu, and then by their grace they deliver us. We automatically get transferred to Vrindavan. It's the safest and most effective way to get Radha and Krishna's service. So this is our ultimate goal. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says it takes so much courage, great courage and preparedness to face the risk of turning our attention towards these higher divine things, leaving behind the enticements of the world, trying to break the stranglehold that the material world has on us. Seems like we're risking everything for gaining this thing. Srila Sridhar Maharaj once said to Goswami Maharaj, no risk, no gain. No risk, no gain. That's the first step. Like, I'm going to risk my egoistic, suffering consumer life, this exploitive, self-centered existence for something I don't know anything about, something I have no tangible understanding of, but it's captured my heart, it's drawn my attention, this higher plane that we hear about, the Lord and His divine mercy and this divine service plane and part and parcel. It all makes sense to our inner theistic intelligence is telling us, yes, this is true. We have a little faith. We've heard something about the mercy of the Lord and Krishna consciousness and the line of Bhakti. And we believe it, but we can't see it, we can't taste it, we can't smell it, we can't touch it yet. So we go on. But it takes courage to risk everything. And without some risk, we won't get anywhere. We need to leave behind, reject the unfavorable things in our devotional practice and accept what is favorable. So this is the first stage. Second stage, seemingly all risk, no gain. We feel like we're risking everything and we're getting nowhere. It's like this middle stage that's so rough, but actually, seemingly it's like the middle stage, but the Braja Gopis are that's their position they show in their pastimes, the Cowherd women, friends of Krishna. the lovers of Krishna. They're risking everything, like etiquettes and rules in society. You know, they're technically married in this pastime of conjugal love with Krishna. They're leaving their husbands, they're leaving their small children in the dead of night, going to play with Krishna and enjoy in this conjugal paramour love. Paramour means they're somebody else's wife, and they're enjoying with Krishna. And they're breaking all the rules of society. This is not like Western society. This is Vedic culture, set in Vedic culture where you do not do that. But Krishna is the supreme person. He's attracting their hearts, and they have this type of relationship with him where they're the lovers of Krishna. And he's calling to them, and they're leaving everything. So, all risk, no gain. They're not in it for any gain. They're in it to please the Lord and risking everything. And then the final stage, no risk, all gain. That's just, you know, you find yourself like all the things that I thought I was risking was actually not significant. It was like only hampering my progress, and it was binding me to this material world of suffering, and it was the cause of all my problems. All the stupid things we're so seduced by, and our whole false ego is consumed in this very insignificant slice of life in this material world. We've risked that, which, you know, thank God, because that was killing us and just perpetuating our birth and death experience, the repeated cycle of birth and death in this material world. That was just unhealthy exploitation that we've left. So, you know, we've realized we've risked nothing substantial and gained everything. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj mentioned these three kind of levels of spiritual life. So, you know, such is our situation in this material world. We're kind of at that stage now where like we don't know what we're doing really, but we're being like irresistibly drawn to this unknown divine reality, which gradually reveals itself and becomes more substantial than anything else we know. There will be a shift where what seems so unreal will become real, and what seems so real becomes unreal. We'll realize like we got to shake off this unhealthy connection to this plane of exploitation, and it becomes more and more easy as the Lord helps us. He sees us. He's living in our hearts. He's in the form of Guru, revealing Krishna, ultimately revealing himself in so many ways, so many forms. So many ways of help is coming from above to help us achieve our divine prospect. So it's a descending path, not an ascending path. We're trying to make ourselves as proper receivers to receive this descending truth. That's what it's all about. We just try our best with all our strength. We give ourselves to all the practices and principles of devotion and try to be good receivers, good vessels, so that divine mercy can flow into our hearts and our minds and totally satiate our existence.